What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to In My City. And I'm your host, Tabitha Simmons. And today we have another very special guest on today. Singer, songwriter, and musician in the building. You may know him from the group Tower of Power, but you also know him for his infamous song. I was getting ready to sing it, but I'm not going to do it any justice. Mr. Cuz I Love You, Mr. Lenny Williams. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tabitha?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Having a great day.
That's good to hear. How's the weather there?
It's pretty nice. I got out, took a little walk this morning around about 7:30, and it was nice. Had a little jacket on. Sun was shining, but it was kind of nippy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, at least you got in some good exercise, some good sun.
I did.
How have things been going for you since the pandemic, since everybody's been kind of shut in?
Well, I found out that I know what the difference between a hammer and a saw, the screwdriver, because my wife, every day she's like, go fix this, do that, put this together and all that kind of stuff. But things have been good, got both of my vaccines and, just been managing, just kind of circle is real small now, just mostly just me and my wife. And, every now and then the kids drive by and honk their horn and wave and we drive by on them. But, well, so far, so good. Yeah, we've managed. Yeah.
That's good to hear. You definitely have not been slowing down. You have been managing to stay relevant and in the game since the 1970s, putting out a record every single decade since then. How have you managed to make that possible?
Well, I got good friends, that, we get together and write songs. Either we write them together, or they write them, or whatever. And then with the modern day way of making records, it's fairly simple, to make a record. Then you got the real hard part comes, trying to make it happen, get out there and get radio airplay and all that kind of stuff. So just hanging out with songwriters, writing songs myself, and putting it out there and just see what happens. Next thing I know, I'm out here hanging out with Tabitha. Yeah.
Hey, you better say it.
Yes.
Now listen, you are infamous for being a crooner. You sing about love and love making. You always have. Do you feel like this is missing from today's R&B?
That might be the reason why I got 7 kids too. Yeah. Yeah.
That might be why.
I think I think in today's music they talk about making love, but it's whereas we talk about going for a walk and holding hands and going to a movie and reading a book together, and then we make love. The records today is like, boom, what's your name? Let's make love. Whatever. Or after they finish making love, oh, what's your name? So it's just kind of like. It's a different approach, but I mean, every era has their way of living life, and so I remember when I was growing up, women, my grandmama and them, they wore dresses down to their ankles, that was what was happening, and now today, they wear them above the knee, so so it's just. Different ways of saying what you want to say and whatever the society will allow. Back when I was doing, in my 20s, writing, you had to worry about censorship and, will they play this on the radio or whatever? And nowadays, I don't think you really have to worry about that too much. You just say what you want to say, how you want to say it. And if they like it, and usually sometimes the further out there you get, the more attention you get. So that's the incentive to just let it all hang out. So, to each his own, so I just do it my way. Yeah.
That's what it is. You just put it out there.
Yeah.
Now, the infamous song that we all know and love, 'Cause I Love You.
Yes.
Did you ever think that it would be as huge as it is? It's still huge right now to today. Did you ever think that it would be that way?
No, I've written a lot of songs, I tell you, and all songs, it's like having a baby. You say, oh, that's my little baby, gonna grow up and be the president, gonna have his own company. She's gonna have a radio show, television show, be on, whatever. And you have high hopes, but some do and some don't. And that song, to be honest, I wish that for that song, but I really didn't know because if I knew, I have about 100 of them like that,
Ooh,
but
yeah.
but it's just kind of interesting, that you write a song and then you say, like, I'm 76, right? So all the women, 76 to 80, 85 that, they were living when that song was, were young when that song came out, I do shows and they love it. And then their daughters and sons love it. And then their grandkids love it and their great grandkids. And they all know the words and everything. And it'd be tripping me out, that I could have written something like that in 1974. I didn't put it out till like 78. That it would still be, something that people. I mean, I could record royalties right now. I mean, just like big royalties, and it's like, dang, this song just ain't gonna go nowhere, So I mean, I'm loving it, and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
I can tell you right now, that's a huge. I play it on my Quiet Storm on Wednesday nights. I love it, and I have so many
just
fans.
Wednesday nights, just Wednesday night. What about Thursday night?
Just don't listen. The Quiet Storm going all week now, Mr. Lenny Williams. But on Wednesday night, I debut it to the fans on Wednesday night. But it go on all week now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. So
absolutely. When you talk about the generational trickle down, I can attest to that because. My grandparents listened to it and my mother listened to it and she loves you to death. And that's why I listen to it today in my 40s and it's still rocking right now today.
Yeah. I mean, it's just very, very interesting. And then I've been like really blessed that so many people have sampled it, and, so that just makes the blessing even bigger and wider and just keeps the song going. Yeah.
Indeed. Now, your choice, R&B music today or back when you came in the
game? Well, I like them both, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm trying to please everybody, but I'll be diplomatic. But I mean, I love the R&B music that I grew up with, but sometimes I listen to it and I think, wow, that was, records when I was growing up were like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, so it's like, so I listened to a Sam Cooke record, like You Send Me or whatever. Mm-hmm. And those records were like 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And so now records generally are 3:58, 4:15, so you get more out of the record that, of today. You get more song. Mm-hmm. And I think the only difference between the records of yesteryear and today is that the modern technology, you don't have as many instruments playing the records. Mm-hmm. Because you can do it a lot on the keyboard and it makes all the different sounds and the lyrical content, so but I cuss a little bit, I mean, not around, my mama or nothing like that, but yeah, I have said a few cuss words in my life.
Okay. So said a few. That's good enough for me. You said a few.
Right. So, I mean, let me say one. I'm keep on. Yeah, right. But so I don't know. I like them both. I mean, because I listen to the stuff from the past, and it does me good. And then I listen to what they got now, and then that's the era that I'm living in, Yeah. And so that's what I turn the radio on, and I hear the beat, and it's got me going, and I'll be feeling like I could do a little something, and so I don't know, what you got. It's like love the one you with. So I say, well, love the music that I'm hearing. So whatever I'm listening to, when I turn the radio on, I'm getting into it.
I know that's right. Mm-hmm. Your newest album titled Fine, that's out right now on all platforms. Uh-huh. What was the process behind creating this album?
Well, I got a phone call from a friend of mine that said, hey, there's this poet named Corey the Poet, mm-hmm. and he's got this poem. Why don't you help him out a little bit and go sing on it, right? So I said, okay, I'll do that. And so I met Corey. And so then we go to the studio, and the producer of the music is Levi Caesar. And he's the guy that played guitar and bass for Prince for 12 years, right, in the New Power Generation band. So I didn't know Levi really well, but I knew his family because I knew his mama and his aunties and uncles and stuff. And so I sat down and I enjoyed the way he ran his studio and the production. So I was like, hey, when we get to doing this thing for Corey, maybe you and I can get together and do something. He said, okay, cool. So then he says, well, what about next Thursday? I said, okay. So next Thursday I go to his house and he said, okay, yeah, I'm getting ready to write. I got my pen, my paper, and my guitar. And he's like, well, can I interview you? I'm like, okay, this is a new thing, I guess. This is the way these youngsters write. So he interviewed me for about 2 hours. And then he said, oh, that's good for the day. Let's get back together next week. So I'm like, dang, what's this all about? So then I go back the next week and he says, you've been married for 42 years. You own about 6-7 houses. You own all your royalties. You own your writing royalties, your publishing royalties. You got money in the bank. He said, you're doing fine. He said, let's write a song about Fine. And I said, okay, cool. I'm getting it. And so we wrote the song Fine. And then after that, I was like, oh, shoot, let's write some more. And we just been writing.
Ever since then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. I'm not sure if it's the same on that album, but you co-wrote a song with your granddaughter. How did that happen?
Well, my granddaughter been telling me that she could write, and everybody been telling me that she could write, right? And so my friend Derek Allen, DOA, we call him, he just produced the latest album on Kim's latest album, right? So, he was saying, man, I got some ideas about some stuff, because I've been trying to get with him, but he was so busy doing the stuff with Kim. So he said, well, I got some ideas about some stuff. So he said, let me send you some music. So he sent me some music, and it was like about 3 weeks, I couldn't come up with nothing, right? And on this one song, and then I was ashamed to tell him that I couldn't come up with nothing. So I said, let me see if this girl could really write, right? So then I sent her the music. And so about, maybe 3 or 4 days later, she sent me back this idea. And I called her back and I was like, did you write that by yourself? She's like, yeah. And she came up with the melody and everything, right? And I said, what's your bank account number? And she said, I said, do you have a bank account? She's like, yeah. I said, give me your number. And I said, I'm sending you some money. She said, what for? I said, because you surprised the hell out of me. I didn't know you could write like that. And so I sent her some money, right? And then I took it to DOA, and he was like, man, this is awesome. So then I just hooked up with my little granddaughter. And so I just been, like hooking up with her, and we got some more stuff getting ready to happen.
I know that's right. Well, congratulations to your granddaughter. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and she's kind of cute too. She looked like her grandmama. Yeah, she's kind of cute and everything. I was like, oh shit, we might have something here. Yeah.
You just might. I know that's right. Speaking of family, also, you collaborated with your sons on what's the Take It From There.
Yeah.
How important was this for you to be able to do this with your sons?
It was very, very important, especially because of the lyrical content too, kind of like passing it on and everything like that. And then one of my sons, Lionel, he's a preacher. So, it was like, I was like, if I'm ever going to do something with him, either I got to sing some gospel or, because he wasn't going to sing no R&B anymore. He used to, but he kind of scared of it now. And so that was really nice just to get both of them together, and especially the lyrical content, it's your time now, you can take it from here. And so we had a great time. So hopefully we might get a chance to do some shows together. That would be really fun. Yeah.
That would be nice. That's pretty neat.
Got the preacher over here and my other son, the center in the middle, and my other son, he kind of slew-footed. He got 1 foot in and the other foot on the other side. It's like, so we're gonna have us a real good time. We might make that preacher sing "Let's Get It On" or something.
All right, now don't you say that. I'm gonna be waiting for it. Now you have on this particular album, you have one of your more explicit songs titled "All Night." Now, Mr. Williams, I'm gonna need you to tell me how did you come about with the creation of that song? As if I didn't already know, but I need you to tell me because I got to hear it.
Okay, my friend DOA, the one that produced Kim's last album, and he produced Keith Sweat's last album, and Joe's last album, right? So DOA is he doing things, right? So he called me. He said, "Man, you heard that record a Tank got out called When We?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I heard it. I heard about it. I mean, I don't listen to that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, but I heard about it though." I said, "Matter of fact, I'm gonna just tell the truth. I have heard it." And I bought it. Yes, right. And he said, "Well, I want to do something like that." And I said, "Well, I got a 76-year-old mind. I don't really be thinking like that, but I'm gonna try to see if I can, I went to my grandson and I borrowed his gold front and put it in, and I got me some baggy pants and I sagged a little bit. And I said, let me get in the mood for this. And then all of a sudden he came up with those lyrics, right? Boom, boom. I said, okay. So then I sent it to DOA. He said, oh man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And so then he said, well, we should probably get a lady to sing the chorus, right? And so then I'm thinking about who could I get to sing the chorus, right? And so then I called up my good friend Jeannie Tracy, who was in the Weather Girls and sang with Sylvester, and she's been on sing background on just about every hit record you can think of, all the way from Aretha to you name it. And so called her and we did the record, and then I got 4 daughters, and they like, Daddy, you need to go to church. Get on the altar, and everything like that. And I just tell them, well, y'all got to excuse me. The night I wrote that, I forgot to take my Geritol, and I just lost my mind.
Mr. Williams, now keeping it on
that
subject of all right, will do, Lenny. Keeping it on that subject. How do you feel about when people, when some would say, oh, he's too old to be singing about sex and all this other kind of stuff? What do you have to say to that?
Well, I ask them, a lot of people don't know this, that some of the highest rates of venereal disease, which it is occurring in the senior citizen population, because with the advent of what's it, that little blue pill, what they call it, Viagra, and all that kind of stuff like that. Men of my age are, becoming so sexually active, and a lot of women, their husbands have died. Older women, in their 60s and 70s, and everything like that. And so there's a lot of hanky panky going on, and so some things get old and some things don't, and then some things get old and they can be spiced up a little bit, for men, a lot of things as erectile dysfunction and stuff like that. I mean, they got stuff to work on that, and so, and I was reading an article about these senior citizen homes and these long-term care facilities, and they had a big thing about a man who he went to visit his wife there, right? And she had Alzheimer's. And so she had her private room. I guess they had money, and she had her private room. And they went in and they found them having sex. And they said, well, she can't, because she has Alzheimer's, she can't consent to sex. And so they said that basically they tried to charge him with rape.
Yeah.
Because they said, how can she consent if she has Alzheimer's? He said, well, I know my wife. I know that she wants that. I've been married to her for I think they've been married 50 something years. He said, I know my wife. I know she wants that. So they had these big lawsuits. And so all of these senior citizen homes now, they all have prophylactics. They have condoms. They have, they supply people with Levitra and Viagra and whatever, else they have. And they have these specific laws that they have to have, because no matter how old you get, or even if you have Alzheimer's, it seems to me that the sexual drive that human beings have, it survives some kind of way, we're having an adult conversation, right? So for people to think that it's ludicrous for me to sing about sex. It's like, no, I mean, old folks is having sex, and grandmama is doing something. Grandma ain't just making hot water cornbread and green.
Oh, no.
Grandmama when Mr. John Henry come over from down the street, or Deacon Jones come over, and they sitting back there, and after they got through nylon, after they get through doing all of that, he look, grandma, oh, Miss, what's your grandmother's name? Miss what? Miss what?
My grandmother, her name is Reva.
Oh, Miss Reva. Oh, Miss Reva.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now, she's no longer with us.
Today, Miss Reva. Yes.
Yeah, she's no longer with us, but all the way up until she was in her 90s. Let me tell you, she called it being frisky. People don't know that, so I know what you're talking about because she was that way.
Yeah. So a lot of people. It was really interesting. I mean, like I say, I'm 76, so when I was like in my 20s, I thought that when I got 50 something, I was all over, and then I got to 50, and it's like I was making babies, and then then in my 60s, my 70s, it's like. Yeah, I'm alive.
Hey.
I was gonna play with Billy D. Williams, and he had a line, "I want to live," and so it's like, hey, I want to live, right? Yes, yeah. So it's all of that.
I know that's right. So let me ask you, some artists I have had past interviews where you talk about music from today when you talk about R&B and how they discuss love making and how explicit it gets today versus how subtle it was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about how explicit? I know you touched on this earlier, but how do you feel about how explicit it is today? Like, let's jump on it right now. Ain't no in between. Let's get it right now.
Well, it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to tango, right? So, I've had situations where women have come up to me and just, bam, they want to just can we, and then it's like, I'll be like, dang, is it me? I mean, I know I ain't ugly, you know what I mean? But I ain't,
no, sir.
I ain't Denzel, there's nothing, so I'm just wondering what, did she do that last night or the night before? So it takes two to tango. So I ain't going to go for that. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I'm going to diplomatically get out of that. You know what I mean? And so I would say that, it's up to women if a guy come at them like that, whether they want to go for it or not. But with all of the push for equality of the sexes, and people feeling like, well, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I think that's what society is doing these days. You know what I mean? And so, I grew up, where you had to go buy a little soda water, hold some hands, and we just called it keeping company when I was growing up. You go to the girl's house and you had to put on a nice shirt, and then you go to a little room and you sit down there, and every now and then the mama passed by, just peeking in the room and seeing if y'all got 3 inches between you or something like that, and but that's the way the world is. And it's like, I didn't grow up in that world. I mean, I'm still living in it, you know what I mean? And so, I don't know, I mean, as a father who has daughters, I would hope that it would be more like when I was growing up, but, I got daughters and some of them, they all different, it's like some of them, they white men and Latinos, and some of them just all they want is black, and some of them, it's like they want the guy with the PhD, then some of them take the truck driver, and take the guy that who's the janitor, and so it's like, I guess to each his own, and and some of them I watch them be sitting at home on the weekends, ain't got nothing to do. I say, well, all you want is a 6 foot tall, black as midnight, and big lips. So if that's all you want, then your pool is shorter. Then your sister, she going with the white man and the Mexican and the Chinese guy, and she every weekend she gone somewhere. So I don't know, and then she get a heart broken over here, the one that take anybody and everybody. So that's like, well, maybe if you just change your dating pool. So I don't know, but I guess if you can get away with it and that's what you want,
right,
and it's working for you, then go for it. But then there's consequences to that too, yeah.
In your opinion, do you feel like R&B music today is missing something?
I mean, it all depends on certain artists, you got artists like Anthony Hamilton. I don't think he's missing anything,
Oh.
I don't think, it's like, Anthony Hamilton is, I don't know how old he is. Let's just say he's 50, but he's 100, he's 100 in his soul and his musicality, I feel he's just as much of a soul man as Charlie Wilson or whatever, somebody who's got some age and experience. So I don't, but then, I mean, I listened to Bruno Mars' new record, and I said, wow, I mean, this is kind of interesting because we were trying to dissect that song, and it's like, it's kind of like got the little Philadelphia sound, and didn't I show your mind this time, and whatever, and it's so, I don't know, it's interesting. I think that music is finding its way. And music is a living thing. You wake up some mornings you feeling good, and next morning you got a backache and knee ache. Next morning you wake up, you feel like you can go hiking. So music is living, and so it's changing all the time. And so I just kind of go with the flow. But I think that just with the advent of all these new modern ways to make music with the keyboards and things like that, and these different sounds, you're going to get different sounds. So I think the only real difference with music is the lyrical content, but because the sky's the limit, people can say what they want to say, and they're taking advantage of it.
I agree. Today, right now, who would you love to collaborate with that you haven't collaborated with?
Beyonce.
Ah, yeah.
Probably. I'd like to do a song with Beyonce. I think it would be good. As far as guys, I know he's kind of controversial right now, but Trey Songz would be somebody I, like to do a song with. So maybe Bobby Brown, me and Bobby. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now Trey Songz writes some filthy stuff now.
Well, I like Trey Songz though. I mean. The girls like him, so I mean, at least I'm gonna be around some girls, yeah. If I'm with Trey, he can't have them all, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Now you have artists. I call them overnight successors, and what that is they're the ones that can upload a song onto a platform like TikTok or Spotify or whatever type of social media platform. The song goes viral, the world loves it, and now they're signing an album deal with a major company. How do you feel about that versus how, when you first got in the game, how difficult it was with the blood and the sweat and the tears and putting in actual work, trying to get into the industry? How do you feel about how that happens with artists today?
Well, I can't be jealous or envious, you know what I mean? So I try not to let those feelings seep in. But if tomorrow I went down and to Charles Schwab or whatever and put in $100 and it turned into $1 million overnight because I picked the right stock, whoever been playing with the stock market for 20 years and it happened and it didn't happen for them, they can't get mad at me, And so I look at music the same way. It's like they have the blessing of the computer and the internet, that can, or a TikTok, or we didn't have that. And so I just hope that they can sustain it. You know what I mean? That because I was reading an article not too long ago that was saying that the possibility of a person having a top 5 record and then repeating that is remote.
Yeah.
You see people, boom, you hear that name, then, you look at the chart, go back and get the chart from what is this, March? Go back to March 22nd. 20. What's this 20? What is this? 2021? Yeah, 2021.
Yes,
Go back to 2020 or 2019 and see how many people that are on the charts now are on that chart in 2019 or 2020, and you'd be surprised. It's not that many. So people who have this overnight success, I say the best thing for them to do is go buy a house, put some money in the stock market, and secure your future, and then try to see if you can do it again. And if you can't, at least you're able to say, well, I did that, and this is what I got out of it, and I built a nice foundation, and I can live a nice life forever. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
Now, you talked about it being different times. Speaking in different times, how transitioning from how you had to get your music out and put your music out back in the day to now utilizing platforms on the internet. How difficult was it for you to transition into the new world way of doing things with that?
It was hard for me because I'm just not like totally computer literate, but I thank God my wife is, and I've got a daughter that's a computer scientist, and then I've got, grandkids and stuff like that. Oh, it's like, oh, boom, 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 and they just do it. So when I started asking for help, then it's made it a lot easier. But, but that's a conundrum in itself too, because I keep on talking about articles that I read, but I was reading an article that said, I can't think of the exact number, but it was like a big number, like 50, 60,000 songs are uploaded every day. So the traffic is tremendous. You're like in a traffic jam at 3:30 in the afternoon, downtown Manhattan, New York. It's just like you ain't moving, or you got to do something extraordinary to move in and out, to get to where you want to go. So, so the internet is good and it's challenging, but everybody was saying, well, that it was going to be the panacea. It's going to be, this is the way you're going to make your money. But I haven't seen it yet. I mean, it works for some people, and a lot of people that doesn't. It just gets you into the game or gets you noticed, and then. But definitely, I'd say that if you learn how to use the, all of the, the tools that are provided on the internet, it can definitely be a big asset to you. That's for sure.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. With the changes, you got to learn to kind of adapt, even though, some people don't care to. I ran across a few people who don't really care to involve themselves in the internet and, doing things that way. But I guess it has its benefits when it comes to making sure your music gets out there and, connecting with new fans everywhere. So it has its benefits.
It's what's happening. And, I mean, you got to go with the flow, or, it's like you want to go downtown and the 83 bus is the only way to get there, or either walk or ride your bicycle. It's like, well, I think it's the 83,
I think it's the 83.
Yeah, right. So it's like, it's the internet, if you want to be out there, I mean, you got to do it. Yeah,
absolutely. What's up next for Lenny Williams? What are you working on right now? Not the babies. No more babies.
No more babies?
No more babies.
Okay, yeah. I used to work at night. Yeah, I don't work at night no more. But I guess what's up next? If you ask my wife, it's like, get down there and straighten out that garage. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's probably what's next. But, just getting ready for the green light, to get back out and do shows. I haven't done a show since March 3rd of last year. So I'll be around here, doing my vocal exercises. I've been doing them a little bit more. I do them every day, but, I've been spending a little bit more time doing that. Just get the voice ready. Yeah. Start playing guitar again, trying to do that, just write songs and just loving life, really, just excited about all the possibilities that are out there, either through writing songs or maybe even doing some producing or, doing shows when that comes back around and, just having fun, it's time to have some fun, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I know you can't wait to get back out there. I have not had the pleasure of attending an event of yours, but the minute the world opens back up, I'm there.
Now, what city you in?
I'm in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, matter of fact, somebody's trying to get me to come to Columbia, South Carolina on June 19th. I guess that's what is that? That's Juneteenth, right?
Yes,
and,
it is.
But the money was a little, it wasn't enough money, so I just wanted a little note telling me we got to come up with a little bit more money.
You got to come with it. You better not let me know who they are. I'm gonna call them and tell them, listen, you got to come with it. This is Lenny Williams you're trying to bring here.
Yeah, but yeah, so definitely we make it happen. I've been to Columbia many times. I don't know why you haven't been to one of my shows. I've been all down there, Columbia, all the places down there. Charlotte, yeah, all that. Yeah, I know that Charlotte's North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, but y'all close though. Yeah,
it ain't far.
Yeah, I've been all down there. You start naming them towns, Wilmington, and you name it. I've been all down in there. Yeah.
All right, let me find out you down here in the country.
Yeah, I'm a country boy.
I know that's right.
Yes. I just live in the city. Yes.
Hey, you prefer the country or the city? What you prefer?
Well, right where I live now, I'm kind of like twixt in between. So I can walk 2 blocks and there's horses and I can walk outside and up on the hills around there. I see cows in the morning. So, but then I'm 15 minutes from downtown. So, so I kind of got a little bit of both going on.
That's the both worlds. I know that's right. Yeah. I'm going to ask you the question that I always ask all of my guests. If you could look a younger Lenny Williams in the mirror right now, today, what would you say to yourself?
Well, I know what I want to say to myself.
Go ahead and say it. We grown up in here. Go ahead and say it.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that. But,
take your time.
Just say no. Just learn how to say no. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well said. Straight to the point. Just say no.
Yeah.
All right. How can fans get in touch with you? Old fans, new fans, how do they find you and keep up with what you got going on? New stuff that you got going on. How do they find you?
LennyWilliams.com. I'm at The Real Lenny Williams on Instagram, on Twitter, at Lenny Williams. And, if you see me, just walk up and say, hey, what's up? I'm friendly and like to talk. I check my email, 4 or 5 times a day, especially now since it's COVID. It's like, it's that shit by the phone. Let's see what's going on, and I answer all my emails and, messages personally, so we get, let's get to know each other, getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
All right. Don't you start nothing up in here because I got all my fans. They on here listening, waiting on you to say something.
Yeah. So just come on, get at me, and I love to interact. Yeah. And take advantage of this internet and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's what's up. Yeah. We love it. And we love you, Lenny Williams. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm also going to tell you, you might need to go ahead and get that garage because the wifey said so. You might need to go ahead and start working on that.
And she's from Texas and she be doing crazy stuff like, I wake up in the morning and just be an ice pick just sitting up on the dresser. What's that for? You trying to intimidate a Negro? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm from Arkansas now. I know what an ice pick mean, There ain't no big old ice blocks around there or something like that. You ain't finna stick me, is you? Yes, you're finna stick me, girl. Yeah.
No, we don't need her to do that. Goodness.
I would write a song. I really would write a song then, right? Yeah.
You're right. You'd be like Al Green. Oh, you write a song then.
Yes, most definitely. Yes.
That's what's up. Mr. Williams, I want to thank you so much, Lenny. I want to thank you so much for your time on today. I'm definitely going to continue following you and your works and what you got going on in your projects. And just thank you so much for being here with me on this afternoon.
I appreciate it. And you're good at what you do. Yes.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah.
Columbia, South Carolina. Remember that because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at the show, front and center.
I think whether they give me money or not, I'm going to go ahead and take that date for June 19th. I'm saying I got to get down there so I can meet Tabitha.
That's right. Yes, sir. I'll be waiting for you.
All right. God bless you now.
Absolutely. God bless you too. Have a great day.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
And you guys, that was Mr. Lenny Williams. Words can't express to me enough how much, this interview meant to me, as well as all the fans out there. He has a great spirit. As you can see, he's still writing, he's still relevant, he's still out here, and he's still putting out music. Make sure you check out his newest album. It's called Fine. It's on all the platforms. You can download it. And he said, go to Lenny Williams on Instagram. You've got Lenny Williams on Facebook, and interact with him. Say hello. He does actually interact with his fans. He's got a lot of fans. Don't listen. I don't know what y'all was expecting from him, being given his age, but he came through, had the energy, and kept me on my toes. And I know he kept y'all out there laughing. It got a little adult like, but that's what we're here to do on In My City. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Next interview that we have coming up is going to be another one in the game. Miss Shirley Murdoch is going to come right on through on In My City. So make sure you stay tuned and keep up with what's going on so you be in the know. Have a good one.